Okay, so this is something I've wanted to talk about for a little while, and I would call it the wanting cycle. And what I mean by this is you'll probably relate to this quite a lot, where I've called it just in the base one, the wanting cycle here, where most of us go through our daily life and you're gonna hit a point where you might not know exactly what's wrong with your daily life, but you just know you want more. And I've experienced this so many times. Maybe you're at work and you're just thinking, why am I here? Maybe you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're going, why do I look like this? Or maybe you're getting rejected by a girl and you're going, why is that happening? You want more. It happens to all of us. It's a natural part of life. And I've wanted to talk for a little while just about all the ways you can kind of deal with this. So there's a few different ways you can deal with like the kind of thought of wanting more. The first one, you can just accept it. You can accept your current situation and just say, you know what, I might not be happy with where I am in life, but that's how it is. And I feel this is where about 90% of people go. They'll work a job they hate and they'll just think, that's just life. They'll be overweight and they'll go, that's just life. They'll have dreams, they'll have things they've wanted to do, and they'll just say, that's just life. And if that's you, then you probably haven't had that issue and you're probably not watching this video. And if you take path A here, nothing changes. And for some people, I actually envy them because I can't do that. I'm a path two or path three kind of person. And I'm quite annoyed that I can't just go, yeah, you know what? My life isn't where I want it to be. I know I want more, and I can't just go, yeah, I'm fine with it. And yeah, nothing changes. And they're quite happy with that. They're quite happy just doing exactly what they've been doing until probably the end of time. This is usually people who are set in their ways, work the same job for 50 years. Um, just, you know exactly where they'll be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. They'll be down the pub, that kind of thing. Um, they've usually got the same routines. They do the same thing all the time, which can be good, but not in this case. This is probably exactly what most people do. Same takeaway that they'll go to, order the same food, shop at the same stores, have drove the same brand of car, worked at the same place, lived in the same house. They just accept very much what they do and don't change much. So, if you're watching this video, that's probably not you. You're somewhere in between these two, and this is where, oh my god, your life is painful no matter which path you decide to pick. You're like, each one of these paths has pain because for this guy, maybe he does sometimes venture into path number two of desiring more. You want more for your life, but you don't do anything about it, and that this is probably the worst loop you can be in, where you keep desiring more. So let's go back to you're in a job you hate, right? Most people are there, and you go, fuck this, I'm gonna quit. And then it comes to the weekend, you have some time off, you go out for a drink, you go, oh, this is not too bad. Nothing changes. You feel like you should be doing something, you feel like you should do it, but you find ways to procrastinate. And then what happens? Come Monday, you get back into the job, you end up, this is you going through your weekend, and then here comes Monday again. And what happens? Oh, fuck, Sunday night, gotta go, wake up again. Monday, gotta come back into the job. You want more for your life. The desire happens, nothing changes, and you can get stuck in this cycle for years and years and years and years. And a lot of the time, you don't even know the difference between these two people. They can be the same person, where they can want more and still do nothing, and they can find ways to justify it to themselves. They can find ways to distract themselves, usually drugs, alcohol, women, junk food, TV, porn, endless amounts of stuff on the internet. You know, the distractions are endless. Video games, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever. All the things that distract you from actually doing anything until you go and realise it's getting so bad. And this is where a lot of the time people say the quote is, I can't remember. I need to get the exact quote up later, but it's along the lines of like you only change when the pain of staying the same is too much to bear, and this is exactly what where this quote comes from. Of staying in this loop is too difficult, and there's only two ways out of this loop. One, you accept it, and that's difficult enough on its own. That's what when people say they've given up on their hopes and dreams, they've just gone down this route. They've accepted where they are in life and they've just said that's enough. The most difficult thing you can then do is actually have the desire to change and start taking action on it. And this will lead you down two paths. The first one, by the way, that just choosing this step alone and knowing what you want to take action on is difficult enough. Then when you take action, you're going to go down the first path. You're going to take random actions. So let's say you go, again, back to the hating your job thing. You're going to take random actions to try and better it. Maybe you speak to, I don't know, your neighbour and say, oh, what do you do for a job? Maybe you go online and you start looking stuff up. Maybe when you're out and around, you'll always look at different jobs. You'll apply for advertisements. You'll go on Indeed. You'll go on Total Jobs. You update your CV. You don't really know what you're doing. And it just leads to a lot of really random results where you just try and do honestly anything you can think of with no real plan. It's just idea pops into your head, you try it, and it'll last for so long until eventually you become burnt out and you give up. And it's really sad to see this because this can last for hours, days, weeks, months, years of you trying different things. Think about somebody who's been trying to start a business for a long time and you go, they're just doing random stuff. That one week they're talking about one business, the next week the other one. Think how many people nowadays do like drop shipping and then they jump to Amazon FBA, and then the next week they're going to be in property, and then the week after that it's day trading, and then the week after that it's going to be, I don't know, like online sales, then appointment setting, and they've got a new thing every week. This is random actions leading to random results, which ends up being burnt out because you don't give anything long enough to compound. And this is where the other path that you'll eventually want to take and eventually need to get to, and this is where progress actually happens, when you go, no, okay, I need to take focused action. This is when you have to develop a plan. And it's this like these two decisions right here, actually taking action on your desires and then coming up with focused actions, or what most people would call a plan. These are two of the most difficult things you will have to deal with in your life. Like there's so much friction in these steps, and I've been stuck in this loop for a long time, and it's taken me so long to actually be able to even think about this loop and be able to work out exactly what it is, how you get stuck in it. I've not even gone into it yet, and I bet you if you're in this kind of loop at the moment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you get to this stage where you start to take action, you start to move and develop a plan for your life, to get motivated, to actually say, no, something needs to change. This is when you start putting the effort in, and this will lead to actually focused results. And I'll get into some examples in a minute over here. But once you start taking dedicated, focused actions, daily, weekly, monthly, but you're in a routine of taking them, it leads to focused results. And the aim isn't to do what the first one was, of just some get rich quick scheme or some fad diet or whatever, just a quick fix to get everything sorted within the next day, hour, minute, and then it leads to you being burnt out and you give up. This one is steady progress. If you really had another arrow of like burnt out leads back to wanting more, this is the only one that actually gets you anywhere. Steady progress. So what are some examples of this you've probably ran into? So I've got the wanting cycle for fitness, and you've probably run into this before. If you've ever had the feeling of wanting for more attention off of people, be that, you're trying to get a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I'm assuming most people watching this video are guys, so you're probably trying to get a girlfriend. Or you're trying to look good so that when you go to the beach and you take your top off, you feel confident. You want to feel more healthy. Say you can't even walk up the stairs, or you're trying to train for a sport, something like that. You want to feel better, and it's the exact same things. It's like you either accept that you're fat, you accept you're out of shape, you accept you're bad at sports, and guess what? Nothing changes. And for some people, this is the option you've got to take, because sometimes you have to just accept, okay, I'm not willing to commit the time, effort, resources. Like smart people, people who are actually thinking about their life, have to make this decision with 99% of things, because you can only really focus on one thing at a time. So even though you might want to, I don't know, make an ice cream business, you have to go, oh well, I've already got another business that's working, or I've already got a job that's working, and you have to say, even though I want to do thing X, Y, or Z, you just have to accept your current situation and accept you can't do anything. So you can't split your focus up too much. And again, with the fitness thing, if you want, if you decide no, you do want to do to get in better shape, and you go, oh, I'd love to try that diet, or like you'll hear it all the time. People go, oh yeah, I really need to get back in the gym. That's desire, but no action. And I could make an entire video talking about that, of like, why do you say stuff? Why do you not do the things you say you want to do? I honestly, I want to write a book on that one day, called exactly that. Why don't you do the things you say you're gonna do? It has been the defining thing of my life. So yeah, that's everyone you've ever heard that always says, "Oh yeah, I really need to get back in the gym," and then they do nothing. And then this is where it does change, when the desire to change and to take you take action on the desire. And yeah, this will look like, again, the random actions, which will be first thing most people do, the fad diets of like, oh, I'm gonna try keto, or I'm gonna try carnivore, or I'm gonna try whatever. They've seen a video on it. So somebody sold them diet pills or mass gainer, or this is a lot of the time where like all the stuff people inject lies as well for fad diets and all that kind of stuff. And it usually has really high intensity for like a week, and then they give up. You've seen that a million times. Or they start injecting stuff they shouldn't be into themselves, and it's got a very short shelf life on their life at that point. But yeah, they just try anything, everything, and then get the fuck. The other thing as well is, if they do go and do workouts, they change them every week, where they go in and it'll just be, I feel like I'm maybe going to work out biceps today. You see, how many guys do you see and they're like, I'm going to skip leg day, I'm going to skip leg day, it's biceps today, biceps again. Like, and maybe their arms do grow really big, and then they've just got little skinny legs. You've seen that all the time, because they will go in, try X, Y, or Z, and just not really have much thought. This is still better than this in some cases. Like this look, this middle path, you never want to be on the fence. You either want to really decide, accept your current situation, nothing changes, and accept it's not something that you need to take action on right now. And this is actually healthy. You really want to be in like lane number 1 or lane number 3. You don't want to be in the middle loop of the the wanting desire loop, where you always want things, you always desire them, but you never take any action on it. You need to make a decision in your life of either, no, this isn't something I need to work on right now. You might want it, but you've got to put that really far back in your life and just be like, maybe I'll work on it in 10 years time, but for right now I can't want that thing. I need to just accept that I'm not going to do anything for it. Or you need to take the action. But what happens again with inconsistent actions? You do the fad diet, you diet for like a week, and then you don't see much difference, and you've worked out your biceps like what 4 times in a week, and then you go still not seeing anything, and you give up. It always ends up being, it's like a big curve of you go really really high really quick, and then it dies off just as quickly as well, and then it just stays down, and that's you. And that's always how that goes, compared to, let's say you got yourself on a plan, you start taking focused actions of, you're going to meal prep. Okay, nice and easy, go to the store, you buy all the healthy ingredients, you make the food, you've got it in little tubs, and now it's like chicken, rice and broccoli ready for you to heat up whenever. Or let's say you make, I don't know, like beef burritos or something like that you can take to work, or eggs and bacon or something like that for breakfast, and you've got all the ingredients ready and you've got everything bought in, and you know what you have to eat. And then as well, you get a workout plan, or like a PT, or you go to classes, or you sign up to a gym that's really close by, and you have your workout bag in the car. All these little things where you just make it really easy to do things, and you stick to it. Be gone. Hide. Go away. Yeah, you just want everything to be actually thought out. You want to take good actions, but a lot of the time this needs to lead to this. Taking some actions and realizing what works and what doesn't, just taking random actions, is still better than nothing. It's better than being in the loop, and it's, well, I mean, if you've decided that this is the thing that you want, that you're going to take action on, then it is good to do. And again, what does having like meal preps and workout plans do? It leads to steady progress. It's not you're going to be shredded and have a six pack within a day, but it's also not you getting burnt out and giving up. Other ones as well, the wanting cycle for trading. So if you're watching this, obviously I'm a trader myself, and it comes from the want for more money or freedom from a job you hate, because this has always been a big thing for me, of wanting like purpose, and to feel like the work you're doing is actually contributing to something that you feel is meaningful in your life. And again, you can just accept your current situation. If you work in a job you hate, you can just accept that and say, you know what, maybe fitness is what I want to focus on, or travel, or whatever. You don't have to say that that's the thing you want to work on now, but you don't want to be in a place where you see people making money from trading and you get stuck in this exact loop with nothing changing, and you always feel guilty, and you go, I should really start, I should really try and make money, but you never do anything. That is the worst place you can be. And then the last one as well is when you start taking actual action on it. This is what you want to do if you've decided this is the thing in your life that you're going to focus on. And as I said, if you've not read it before, The One Thing by Gary Keller is a phenomenal book, and it just talks about how you should really focus on one thing at a time. You don't want to split your focus, you don't want to go between a million things. So if you decide, you've got to figure out what is the thing that you want the most at the moment in life, and dedicate that season of your life to getting it. So that could be, I don't know, if you want to get in shape, maybe the next 6 to 12 months, that's going to be the one thing you focus on, where showing up to the gym 4 times a week, that's the most important thing. Or if it's trading is the most important thing to take action, yeah, you could start with random videos and stuff, or you dedicate 1 to 2 hours a day to follow a course, or maybe 2 to 3 hours a day, and you say, I'm going to pick a course, I'm going to actually put my time into it, and I'm going to go, here's what I want to focus on. And without you need to show up every single day, rain, hail, snow, shine, whatever, follow that course, do the 2 or 3 hours, or set a thing of like, you wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the morning, you follow that course. Or let's say you've got a 9 to 5, you wake up at 6 in the morning, from 6:30 till 8:30 you're gonna follow the trading course, and then after that go to work. Give yourself clear study windows with it. Don't just do learning random strategies and trying them out because you watched random videos and you're like, oh, I'll try that this week, and then another one, because what does it always lead to? Burnout. Because if you don't have the goal should always be steady progress. You never want to just go, I really want to get phenomenal at trading this week. It's like, you would never say that about becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. You wouldn't go, I know it takes about 10 years of study to become a doctor, but I really want to try and do it this week, and I'm going to get annoyed if I'm not. It's like, you just need to feel like you're making progress. This is what people thrive on, is systems, constraints, rules, and getting towards their goal. Doesn't matter how quickly you do it, just matters that you're getting towards it in the beginning. But yeah, a lot of the time you will need to watch random videos, learn random things to start moving towards it. And the last one I've got an example for here. I could have done the wanting cycle for tons of things, like learning an instrument, or learning a sport, or trying to date, anything like that, but the last one I've got here is languages. And that more comes from wanting more variety or freedom from a place you hate. So say you're in the UK right now, as a lot of you might be, and you go, damn, I'd really like to move to Spain, because that's where I'm at in my case right now, where I love spending time there. I try and travel as much as I can to it. You can accept your current situation and say, you know what, that's not what I need to focus on right now. I need to focus on, in my case, like trading or fitness, something like that. I want to be in better shape. You don't want to be stuck in the desire of always going, yeah, I really want to move, and then not doing it. But let's say you do say that you want to move to Spain and you want to learn Spanish, okay, or any other language. If you've got the desire to take action, don't just learn random words and just search whatever. I mean, it's better than nothing. Same with all these, like, it's better than nothing, but where does it always lead? Like, let's say you only speak it a little bit on holiday. It always leads to you being burnt out and giving up because it's not consistent. Whereas if you followed the curriculum, you got lessons and you done it every week, where does that lead? Steady progress. That's where you want to be. So yeah, hopefully this has helped, where you can actually see, when it comes to deciding what you should do, whenever you want to change something in your life, you need to decide and take it into consideration with the wanting cycle. So I'll probably link this down below, and if you're ever in a position where you're trying to decide if you should work on something, always think back to this and decide, is this something I need to work on right now? Because the amount of time you will spend contemplating about the things you want, things you think that you want in your life, the things that you could have, you don't need to worry about it that much. You just need to decide, you just need to figure out what the one thing you want to work on is, and then every single other thing, don't get stuck in this middle loop. This is the worst place to be. So yeah, hopefully you found this video interesting, and going forward into the future, I want to make a lot more videos around trading, around mindset, around psychology, all this kind of stuff. And if you've got any ideas for future videos you want to see, then just comment below.